Hello, I'm Kris from the FPL Dude and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video for the 2020-2021 season. In today's video, we'll be building a wildcard team that I hope will do best now to the end of the season. There are three things to think about now when we are building a wildcard. We want as many as possible players for that double game week 35. We want a full squad of players for that playing game week 36, and we want those best predicted players for 37 and game week 38 as well. It is going to be a tough wildcard to build, but please do watch it and follow my decisions. I will explain every player that I bring in and why do I bring him in and why does he has that best potential to do good now to the end of the season. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And without further ado, let's begin building that best predicted team, or that wildcard team that I hope will do best now to the end of the season. To begin with the goalkeepers, I am going to go and pick Martinez. He's a goalkeeper that has a double game week fixture now and actually has a fixture for game week 36. There are not so many goalkeepers that actually have that. So now in 35 they play against Manchester United and against Everton. Both of these fixtures seem to be very hard fixtures, but it's a double game week and I believe that Martinez could potentially earn that bonus for saves made against these particular teams, but he has some slight clean sheet potential as well. This is the main reason I am going to pick Martinez to be there on my team. As for the next player that I'm going to pick in from the same team, it is going to be Watkins. He does have a double game week now, as same as Martinez. Then he plays against Crystal Palace, which I believe is a very good fixture to go for right now. I believe that he is going to continue to do good. As for my defenders now, I am actually going to start with an Everton defender, as they have fixtures now for game week 36 and they do have a double game week 35 now. The defender that I have on my watch list right now is actually Coleman, and I believe that he has very good potential to do good. He has been doing very okay lately. He has been involved in 2 goals, that's 2 FPL assists. He has been a bit more creative than Dinger now for the last 5 game weeks as well, while his price is much lower than Dinger, and this is the main reason I am going to bring in Coleman over Dinger in this one. The next Everton player now that I am going to bring in to complete that team, it is going to be one that is pretty surprising and have been playing pretty surprising to me now for the last couple of game weeks. That is Rodriguez. He does seem to be the most creative midfielder or striker that possess right now. He's still attempting a lot of shots, he's still attempting a lot of assists. Now, if he gets to start in both of these game weeks, I believe that he offers that greatest attacking FPL potential out of all Everton players. Now, you could potentially even go for DCL or Richarlison, but they have 50-50% of doing well. In some game weeks, it's DCL, in some other games, it's Richarlison. So it's going to be a coin flip between those two, of which of these two going to do good. Well, Rodriguez does seem to be the only very creative midfielder that I believe is going to get that guaranteed place and those guaranteed minutes now in the next couple of game weeks, because he is himself a very good player, and I believe that the manager is going to notice that, and that he might already knows that. The next player that I'm going to bring into my team is going to be Holding. This Arsenal defender does seem to be offering us very good potential. Arsenal seem to have that best double game week now. They play against Newcastle away, then it's West Brom at home. So no, that was game week 34, I'm sorry. It's West Brom and Chelsea. But in that West Brom game, they have very good clean sheet potential. They have some slight clean sheet potential against Chelsea as well, because we've seen that Chelsea want to play for the draw when they play against teams that have good potential to score against them. Then it's a blank game week, but he's a player that costs only 4.3 million, so I'm just going to put him as a second or third bench replacement for that particular game week. But right now he does have a very good double game week fixtures, and that seemed to be the only Arsenal player that I am going to go for. The next player that I am going to bring into my team, it is going to be Alexander-Arnold, but surprisingly enough, he is going to be benched for that double game week 35. I just bring him in to have him for game week 36, 37 and 38 without me having the need to use a transfer. That is how good it is to use a wildcard right now this game week. If you have the wildcard right now, I believe it might even be essential to use it right now for you to do best to the end of the season. So yes, Alexander-Arnold is going to be featured in my team for this particular game week, but he is going to sit on the bench. As for the next player that I'm going to bring in right now, it is going to be Salah. Yes, he does not have a double game week fixture, but I believe that he has very good potential to do good, especially because they play against Southampton at home for this particular game week. Southampton are a team that allow a lot of goals actually. They've had terrible form throughout the whole season, and even though they've improved a bit lately, I believe that they still managed to find a way to allow a lot of goals in a lot of game weeks. And Salah is going to be the one that I believe will might even earn a double number for this particular game week. So yes, Salah is going to be featured in my team, and I believe that I am actually going to start him for that particular game week 35. The next defender that I'm going to bring in right now, it is going to be Kris. Now I bring him in to start him actually for that double game week 35. I believe that he has excellent potential to do good. It's Newcastle and Manchester United. Manchester United might be much tougher one, but the Newcastle game is where I believe they have excellent clean sheet potential. Kris is a fullback that actually likes to push a bit higher than the rest of the defenders, so it does seem to be offering us excellent attacking ability and potential as well. So the starters for this particular game week are going to be Coleman, Holding and Kris, while I'm going to bench Alexander-Arnold. To go now for those starting midfielders, I have Rodriguez and Salah right now, but I'm going to bring in one Manchester United player as well, as they do have a double game week themselves. Then they have blank week after, but we are allowed to own only 3 players from Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United and Leicester. A total of 3 or 4 players, so you could potentially put out a full squad of starters for game week 36. So yes, Greenwood is going to be there. The next player that I am going to bring in to be my starting midfielder for this particular game week, it is going to be Ward-Prowse. Now guys, Southampton's defense have not been doing good at all, but they still managed to somehow find a way and score goals. I believe that Ward-Prowse seem to be having that best potential out of all their players. And because he's on penalties, he's on free kicks, he does seem to be attempting a lot of assists, he does seem to be attempting a lot of shots on target as well. So I do believe that Ward-Prowse have very good potential for this one. And as for the last player that I'm going to go for, he's not going to be a starter, but he does seem to be a wonderful differential you could potentially go for, and that is Milivojevi. He does seem to be offering us a guaranteed starting place for this Crystal Palace team. They have that best double game week now. They play against Sheffield United and against Southampton away. Then it's Aston Villa, Arsenal and Liverpool. These are not fixtures that you want to have this player in your team. But there is another way to go. I'm going to explain that way after I have finished building this team, where you will not even be able to, you will not even have the need to use a free transfer or anything the following game week. But this way you will need to use a free transfer for you to be able to put out a game week full squad for playing game week 36. So yes, the next player now that I'm going to bring in, it is going to be Kane. He has very good fixture. He does not have a double game week, but he's a very good elite player that has very good potential to do good no matter the opposition. But now in game week 35 is actually where they play against Leeds United, and the Leeds have been the team that has allowed lots and lots of goals when they play against teams that could potentially score against them, they like to push a bit higher, and I do believe that Tottenham is going to exploit this because Kane seemed to be the player that scores against defensive teams, while Son seemed to be that best counter-attacking team player that is scoring against attacking teams. So they do have very good potential to do good, both of them, but especially Kane because he's on penalties as well. And just to be able to complete this team and bring in the third starter for this particular game week, I am going to bring in Nacho. I do believe that Nacho has very good potential to do good in this one because they have double game week fixtures. Now it's Newcastle and Manchester United. He has been on fire lately as well. His form have been very good in the last couple of game weeks. His form improved since game week 26. He has been involved in goal in almost every single game week, and in so many of these game weeks he was involved in even more than one goal. So I do believe that he might even have that best potential to do good now in this one, and he might even have that best captaincy potential. Even though he is so cheap, he is an amazing striker. So yes, Coleman, Holding and Castan are going to be the starting defenders. Rodriguez, Salah, Greenwood and Ward-Prowse are going to be my 4 starting midfielders. Nacho, Kane and Watkins are going to be my 3 starting strikers. Milivojevi is going to be the first bench replacement. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be the second bench replacement. And Dallas is going to be the last bench replacement now for this team. Just to complete this team, I am going to be bringing Foster, as it does seem to be the cheapest starting goalkeeper. He does not get to start in all game weeks, but he has potential to start in some. So you could potentially go for him as he costs only 4 millions. So you could not waste your budget. So when we take a look at this team, you can see that we have a full squad of players for double game week 35 now. We have 4 players that have playing game week 36, but these are players that we are going to replace, one of them at least. Or there is something else we could potentially do to be able to save a transfer. We could potentially even take out Milivojevi and bring in Lingard right now, but bring in Lingard just to bench him for this particular game week. So yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Lingard are actually going to be 2 players that I am going to bench through this double game week, but these players are going to stay there in your team. So you are going to have these players for that blank game week. You're going to have them for game week 37 and 38. These are the 2 players that have those best and amazing potential because of those upcoming fixtures and because of their form, of course. So you must have these players. You cannot just build a wildcard team and just take a look at the fixtures now for game week 35, 36 and miss out on Lingard, miss out on Alexander-Arnold, potentially miss out on Kane or Salah. These decisions are going to be something that will cost you a lot. So if you thought this team was helpful, if you thought this video was of any fun, then please do give it thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if that is something you have not done already. Thank you for watching and see you next time.